What to do, KTTV? This is KT. I'm coming at you with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have some special guests in the building. I have the owner of Creative Peace Counseling Service, Miss. You say it for me, Miss
Bridget Evans.
Yes. Hey, don't say Bridget. Just Bridget. Get it right. So I want to make sure. So Miss Bridget Evans. We also have the owner of Insightful Consultants, Miss Delia Johnson. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Last but not least, we have the owner of Eat Well Exchange Incorporated. Is it incorporated?
Yes.
Exactly. Miss Jasmine Westbrook. How you doing today, Miss Jasmine?
Doing good. Doing good.
Look, we doing the weekday. And we pushing for Friday. So I want to say thank you to everybody for taking a few minutes out to come on and talk about the awesome work and the plans that y'all have for young ladies coming up soon. So thank you all for taking a few minutes of y'all busy schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Hey, so as we get into things, before we do this, and I'm pretty sure people in the wellness space can appreciate this, it's been crazy out here. So just a little bit from each one of y'all. How have you all been doing during this pandemic? And how are you staying safe even after the vaccinations go out?
Okay, so as for me, the pandemic, it's been okay. You know, I've been in the house for a while and then we went back to work and I just been wearing my mask and following all of the CDC guidelines. But most of all, just trying to stay optimistic about everything.
I can dig that. That's optimistic is very important.
Yes.
And even though we're in a pandemic, I try to make sure I don't panic. I try to, I'm staying safe. I'm doing everything that I can. At the end of the day, I just got to keep my faith and believing that I'm gonna be okay. So of course I'm staying masked up despite what anybody want to say. I stay masked up. I can't say for anybody else because that's the America we live in. But I can say I can protect myself and I can protect others by making sure I have my mask on. I try not to get out too much, but at the same time, I got to get out of those walls because I got to keep my mental state together. And so I do move around a little bit, not too much, but I do move around a little bit. But, once again, just making sure I don't panic in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now, Miss Jasmine.
Yes.
I know one of my favorite songs. I DJ on the radios on Sunday. And one of my favorite songs is Quarantine Fit. Right. But when we talk about eat well during this pandemic, like how have you been maintaining to not snack it out? And then how do you help others to not do the same thing?
That is a very good question. It is hard. And honestly, though, with the pandemic, what people don't understand is because it's a stressful environment and a stressful situation, sometimes your body will just gain the weight without you even eating. And it's really just like a mechanism of coping and really trying to protect itself. So I would even say as me as a dietitian, I've gained at least 10 pounds and not just from eating, but just from the stress of it all. But I will say I'm thankful for the pandemic because for me personally and for my business, and I think others can really relate, it was a lot of self-reflection of mental things and things that also helped me in the long run. So if you gained a little 10 pounds or so during the pandemic, that's fine. Part of it was probably because of stress, but sooner or later we can get it off in a way that's healthy and not forcing it off to the point where it becomes unhealthy. So yes,
man, and I do understand that there will be a lot of that because that pressure. But when we go back outside, people want to go back to normal.
Yeah.
As we get into, what'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jasmine mentioned it was a time for reflection, and it was like that for me too. I saw it as a time when everything slowed down, everything stopped. I saw it as a time for growth. And that is when I focused on doing all the paperwork and opening up my private practice. And I opened that up during the pandemic and saw my first client June 30th. And ever since then, it's been very, very busy.
Congratulations on that. Taking the leap. Wow.
Yes.
And so, as we look at the event that we'll be talking about, one piece of getting people to sign up is the confidence of knowing that they're coming to see somebody worth that money. And so, then just understanding, can you all give us a little bit of background on you all professionally, so that everybody can kind of understand this real life right here?
Okay, so for me, I started my career working at volunteering at MHMRA in the Juvenile Detention Center for teenagers. I've been a rehab counselor, rehabilitation counselor with DARS. It's now Texas Workforce Commission. Used to be called DARS when I was there. I've worked in Houston area hospitals as a therapist. I've done some counseling in the public schools, and I also evaluate students for learning disabilities.
Okay, so that's it right there. I had a friend who I helped, two friends I helped get hearing aids from DAR, so I'm familiar
You
with
know
that
about
program.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
know.
that's cool there. All right. And what about you, Miss John?
Well, I've been in education for about 16 years, but I guess helping people all my life. And that pretty much comes from my mother. As much as I said when I was young, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do what she did. I grew up watching her volunteer, watching her, give her last if she needed to. Matter of fact, quite proud of her. You just, it rubbed off. And so even though I've been in education 16 years, I've been helping forever. And so, of course, I've been a teacher. I'm now an administrator in an awesome district. I get a chance to work with 7th and 8th graders, approximately 1,400 on a daily basis. I've seen about it. I've seen it all. Nothing pretty much surprises me. And so I get a real joy out of, you have your hard days, but then you have your days when you see your purpose. And so I don't always get the chance to see the seeds that I sow, but I'm always very, very thankful to get the opportunity, to be somebody's best hope on their worst day.
Yeah.
So,
And then all it takes is one of them to call back and say, "I'm all right." Like that, that'll hold you for at least 2-3 more years.
correct.
That's it. All right. What about you, Miss Westbrook?
Yeah, so growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, I wasn't always exposed to the healthiest food, but it wasn't until I went to college that I really learned what a dietitian is or a nutritionist, which is pretty funny because the dietitians in the nation, only about 3% are of color. And that's a very small percentage of us. So became a dietitian, nutritionist just from my own personal relationships with food that wasn't healthy from the past. And then develop a nonprofit called Eat Well Exchange, where we pretty much provide nutrition education to low income communities and access to healthy food, but with a focus on culture, because many times we're told as people of color that our food isn't healthy. There's this misconception that soul food, is unhealthy, but the foundation of soul food is actually very healthy for us. So that's something that we like to teach, and we taught over 5,000 people, and we have a couple of community gardens as well that we're excited about in Haiti and in the States in Florida. So it's just an awesome experience to be a part of, really giving back as far as educating people about healthy food. And just, making a difference in that way, because a lot of times we aren't really given that opportunity to have nutrition education and thinking about it in health. A lot of people are suffering from diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and most of them could have been prevented through medical conditions. So it's nice to try to give people that education, to give them another chance at life, to seeing you can prevent it, especially people of color.
Yes. Now, as we talk about that Memphis, they say they all got a churches on every corner. Is that true?
Oh, that is so true.
That's how they
That
get
is
you right
so
there.
true.
That's how they
Yes.
get you. Well, I think it's awesome, especially like you say with the with just growing the vegetables and healthy eating. We started a program, and shout out to Miss Bass. She started a nonprofit called Inner City Greens. And so we have right now. She just piloted at our school. This Saturday will be the last one, but the kids come up. They have a curriculum where they planted a garden outside of the school. And also they do a curriculum, and so much. So and each week there's different people that's going up to do yoga and things in the garden with them. So it's been awesome. So
Yes.
I totally understand where you're coming from. So thank you for
Yeah.
that work. Man,
Thank you.
so getting into the event, like I say, thank y'all again for coming on to talk about the Level Up Girls course. So positive mindset and nutrition awareness workshops, correct?
Mhm.
Man, so talk to me about how this conference came about and what are you all's roles specifically in the conference?
Okay, so I know as a counselor working with teenage girls, I notice a pattern of negative thinking and low confidence, low self-esteem. And when I talk to them about what they eat, sometimes they don't eat anything, or sometimes they may be emotionally eating. So I wanted to work with that on a greater level than just a one-on-one basis. And so when I started having the vision for the Level Up Girls course, I thought about Delia and I thought about Jasmine. And I knew that Delia was a great confidence coach. Jasmine, I knew her background and how she has a passion for nutrition. And I knew that they would be really great associates to work with. So I gave them a text and I got a yes. And that's how we are here today.
Got a yes. And so how was it like to get that call? What started running through y'all's head, Miss Delia and Jasmine?
So I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
Well, for me, when she said it was teen girls, I immediately thought about just my own story because growing up, I'm 5'10". I'm a tall chick, okay? But being 5'10" and then that age of being a teenager, I was always told, you play basketball or you model, like you do one or the other. And I actually started modeling because, trust me, I was not good at basketball at all. And I started modeling and some experiences that I had from modeling back in the day. I'm not talking about like Instagram model now. I'm talking about Tyra Banks model where you have to be a certain size. You're not accepted if you're not a certain size. Your body image is affected. The way you eat was affected. I knew growing up for me, I was on all these different crazy diets at a very young age just to be included or to say or feel like I was enough to be a model. So those experiences that I had of trying to fit into a norm that wasn't my norm for my health, I can definitely relate to teens who may go through that, where they feel like they have to fit in a certain body that's not healthy and do it at all costs. And this is the age where these young ladies are going to be faced with many different images. And I even think it's worse now because of social media. And a lot of these ladies don't understand that a lot of this stuff is like Photoshop. It's not real. It's not real at all. Right. Exactly. Or you don't know what that person's doing to look like that because it may not be healthy, even though externally they may look fit, but they're really not. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to really actually learn from the girls, but also share the girls with my own experiences of, not confidence necessarily, but just acceptance and learning the right way for themselves to be healthy within their bodies through nutrition.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Wow. What do you got, Miss Johnson? That was hard.
So
you when I talk that passion.
Right. When I got the call for the text message from Ms. Evans, immediately my brain started going a mile. Just everywhere. I have these discussions with girls on a daily basis. So I know, and I have daughters of my own, so I know what confidence does for a person. But a lot of times you hear that word and you don't necessarily know what that word looks like or what it sounds like for you. That's not like a one size fits all word, so I'm all about finding the confidence in you because many people feel like if you're confident, that means you don't doubt anything. And that's far from that. Doubt is going to always be there. and you hear that word flawless. And when you hear that word flawless, you like, I woke up just like this. But flawless is learning how to see the flaws less in you every time that you look at yourself and every time that you speak to yourself. So if you can teach that at a younger age, then you're able to tackle some of those demons that are happening every day. And so, you know, when it comes to confidence, it's not the same, and it's not going to look and sound the same for each person. So for every girl that signs up for this course, it's not, let's, you know, look at this definition or let's look at this quote. I got to find out what is unique about you, because that's what we have to start being comfortable with. I got to be comfortable with not being like other people. That's okay. I got to quit striving for perfection and strive for just being better than I was yesterday. And so confidence is something that needs to be rewritten for each person, because it's not just a definition that fits for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And you say you're at the middle school level, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I know for sure you got a lot of that experience, because that's the time I'm really
that's
in between.
my everyday. That is my everyday is dealing. And we talking about girls right now, but I mean, it deals with everyone. It confidence doesn't discriminate by age, by color, by gender. You know, we all mask it differently, but it affects every last person. And that is something not only that I deal with my students, but with my staff and then with myself. You know, Evan said, you know, when I thought of confidence, the first person who came to my mind was you. You know, and I was telling her earlier, I was like, I'm nervous. I was telling the group, I said, I'm nervous to get on the podcast. And so one of our friends was like, you know, it's all about the confidence. I said, my nerves has nothing to do with confidence. Yeah. It just has to do with stepping into the unknown. Yeah. And so just because I'm nervous doesn't mean that I'm not confident. It means that I'm stepping into something new.
Talk there. I can get it. All right. So now this is a question, and I think you already answered it. Guys don't like to feel left out, right? So as we plan this, did y'all think about putting something in for guys, or did you say, you know what, this time only the young ladies, and we'll come back for that?
So yeah. Okay. What you can't be is a jack of all trade and a master of none. So
say that. Look, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I can find her a male dietitian that could definitely relate to them. But seriously, no, Miss Johnson, you are correct on that. I was thinking the same thing.
So you know, we take our target audience, and because we are, as you said, we all are women here, and our experience are closer to our young ladies. You know, especially in this society, you have a lot of women raising boys, and I can talk for myself because I have a 20-year-old son. And sometimes it's difficult to navigate through what he's going through. We don't kind of mesh the same. You get what I'm saying? And so for this particular program, you know, we said we're going to affect the guys indirectly by giving them some healthy girls that's going to be raised up in order to support them in their endeavors. So they got an indirect effect on this one.
I love that. Yeah, I believe that. That's cool, man. And so from that, you know, fast forward into going through all of the courses, what are you really looking for at the end for the young ladies that you want from that? And also, are you doing any closeout projects or things with parents, something like that?
Yes, absolutely. We will have a closeout project. We will have an ebook journal, Level Up Girls ebook journal. And we will also have a panel where the parents will be invited and the girls will get to share their experience with the parents. We're looking for the girls to leave with a positive mindset and ready to reach their goals, to feel more confidence and better about themselves, and to know how to make some healthy choices with eating as well.
That's it. And as far as the healthy choices, are you what is the workbook like? Like, will it be something tangible, or how does that go?
It's an ebook. It will be emailed to them, and they will be able to work interact and work right in the ebook while we're teaching.
Okay, cool.
So
And
it
then
will be something tangible.
and
And
some for the
it's going to be over Zoom. It's going to be
yeah.
a virtual workshop.
Yes, and so then that goes with the eat well, like kind of not going into it too much, but like how do you get them in to even start that thought process? Because like you say, it's cheap to eat so bad, right? But at the same time, when you think
Dollar
about the
menu.
population you serve, like that's what I can get. So do you start with let's start where you are as far as when you go to that McDonald's, or are you saying let's switch away from that totally?
You do start from where you are, but see, teens and their mindset around what they eat can be completely different than adults. Just
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's about influence. So you got to think about, what other children or teens are they hanging around, and what do you notice about their habits, their family? Do they have access to healthy food? Also, some other things that you have to think about too is that, a lot of times we're told, we know we're supposed to eat our fruits and vegetables. So using that same lingo and saying, oh, eat your fruits and vegetables is not going to work for them. You have to really start with what type of foods are they eating? Make it relatable. Is this like, I know for a lot of teens, and it's funny you mentioned the teenage boys, because we have done a couple of presentations for some teenage boys. Their main thing is focusing on appearance, focusing on, do I look fit? Their focus is on, can I pass this class and be the smartest, kid in the class? And all three of those things have direct effects actually to what you put in your body, which is nutrition. So we bring up relatable things in that aspect to be like, oh, I do care about my skin and my appearance. Maybe I should eat this because this is going to improve that. But just throwing it out there and saying, eat your fruits and vegetables every day is not going to do it. They have to see a benefit in it. And I know, like with these kids now, they love Takis. Back in my day, it used to be hot Cheetos. Right, or Snickers. So you have to bring in stuff like that, like, oh, you like those Takis? What about these? Or, oh, okay, you do like the Takis, but how about you figure out why you're eating them? Are you really hungry, or are you eating them because it's the break and your friend or best friend got some Takis and you just want some because she has some? So it starts with where they are. You're exactly right, but also making it relatable to their everyday life where they see the benefit. Because, teens think they have forever to get it together. I know I did. I was like, oh, I'm young.
Yeah. I mean, man, I've seen it being in elementary. And so I say, well, man, what's your year? What they like 2015, 2014? I was like, man, it's like I thought it was gonna last forever, but I'm like the old guy now in the building. So I agree. And I remember it was somebody I listened to, and I can't remember, but the guy said if I knew I was gonna live to be this old, I would have taken way more care of my body, watching what I eat, doing things like that. So I'm so down with catching everybody early and being preventative versus being reactionary.
Right.
And so then thinking about Ms. Delia for confidence, at the end, is it through the journal that you'll see kind of the manifestation of your work, or how do you see that?
So because I know that everybody is not a writer, through the confidence ones, it will be combined with, yes, writing, talking, but ultimately their end project being a confidence board. We know them as vision boards. Sometimes, a lot of times, you get anxious, and as you would say, you're not confident because you don't know what you're going toward. So you're kind of just out there freelancing. And so when you can look at, this is what I'm moving toward, this is when I feel the most confident. And I can look at that so I know to do, let's just say, that activity. I feel the most confident when for instance, I love red lipstick. Sometimes it don't even match with what I'm putting on, but it is a boost for me. And I don't care if nobody else likes it. It's a boost for me. And so you got to first, and I want our teens to realize, what is it that makes you feel good? Just away from Instagram, away from your friends. When are you happy? When are you your most happy? And then they'll build from there. At the end, they'll have their confidence board, because you got, in those times when you are down and out, in those times when you got to motivate yourself, you got to have something there that you're going to remember. This is what brings me confidence.
Yeah.
And so we're going to build on that through discussion. We're going to build on that through they don't have to write a book. They're not writing a book, but I just need to get their thoughts going, because then at the end, you're going to have your confidence board.
That's nice. And so, Ms. Evans, for people who now then heard kind of the content of it, talk to us a little bit about the setup of the conference. I know you mentioned earlier it'll be virtual, but kind of give us a little bit more of the layout.
Okay, so yes, it will be virtual. Once they sign up, they're gonna get a Zoom link, and we will have a welcoming before the class starts, so we can get to know the girls and for them to get comfortable with us. And then the first 2 classes will be taught by Jasmine. So it's going to be on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And then the next week I will be teaching. And then the last week of the course, Delia will be teaching. And so it's 6 days, 2 days a week for 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
And also the great thing about it is it will build off of each other. You will start off of your positive thinking, going into your body with your nutrition and the things that you eat, moving on to your confidence. And so it's not just like 3 random separate courses, but 3 things that build off of one another in order to end out the conference.
And you know the importance of building the whole child, right? So that's what we're trying to do, man. I love it, man. So as we get ready to land the plane, if I'm looking at this, and I promise I'm gonna share it everywhere. For all the young ladies that see this, why should they sign up? Just putting it out there. Why should I sign up for the conference? And did y'all want to talk about the price and anything like that?
Oh, it's very affordable. It's $137 for 6 classes, 3 weeks. They're working with 3 professionals that have years of experience with what we are teaching. And the parents can reach me by email, or they can call me or log on to my website, and I'll give you that at the end.
Yeah. And so then from your point of view, for your section of the courses, why should we sign up to get the mind
right? So the mind controls everything. So I think about when the kids go to college, it's not because when they go to college and they start having those doubts and they want to drop out. They're not dropping out because they can't do. They've taken all kind of tests, so we know that they have what it takes to do the coursework. But when we start thinking about why they drop out, it's a lot of times dealing with mental health, dealing with the confidence, socially comparing themselves to others, having anxiety around turning in assignments and just showing up, doing projects in class. The eating thing, we're basically getting them ready for the real world and getting them ready for college. You often hear about college students eating ramen noodles. Hey. So just knowing what it takes, how to make good choices with eating, how to deal with the self-doubt. Like Delia said, knowing yourself and knowing what makes you feel good and confident, it's going to help them in a long life. It's going to help them through the long term. So, we would love to service the girls.
Yeah, that's cool.
Can I chime in?
Cool. Yes, please.
So as a parent, as I speak to the parents real quick, as a parent, this is a process, this is not, they're not gonna leave the conference a whole new girl. It's a process. But I know for myself as a parent, I try to do everything that I can for my girls in order for them to get the support. You often hear it takes a village. in order to raise a child. And what I know from my own daughters is I can say something and someone can come behind me and say the exact same thing. And my child will act like that's brand new. Like for 14 years, I have not said this to you. And so sometimes you just need someone else to say the same message. And so that's what we can give you is if you have a 14-year-old, you have a teenager, you have a girl who are struggling with some issues. And when I say issues, it doesn't necessarily mean that they in a dark place. It means that you see better for them. They need better. They want better. And you need that. Then this is the course for you. And for my teenagers or my girls out there, the reason you want to be here is because this is hard. Being a woman is hard. Being a human being is hard. And confidence just takes you so far. It sets you apart. You don't mind opening up your mouth and speaking when you're confident in yourself. You don't mind not being like the next person. You've been born to stand out, not blend in. This is the course that helps you stand out and not necessarily blend in. And then last, it helps you know that this is not about perfection. This is about being better.
Right. And what you just said, Miss Johnson, that just kind of reminded me of like a phrase I always go by is planting the seed. This is planting a seed in these little girls' lives, these young women's lives. And like you said, it may seem like they're not listening, but they are. We've all been teens before, and we remember certain aspects of our lives where we're like, yeah, I remember that. And it made such an impact. So it's awesome for, parents that Ms. Evans has given parents this opportunity to plant that seed. And you may not see the harvest tomorrow, but guarantee you'll see the harvest somewhere in the years to come.
Man,
and this is a no judgment zone. No judgment.
None.
We like the church. What they say, come as you are.
As you are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are providing a safe place for them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
We all know what it's like to be teenagers.
Yes.
And when is the date? When is the first start date again?
It starts June 8th. The last day is June 24th.
That's cool. All right. And so now, before we go, please tell us, how do we contact each one of you all? How do we get the services? Everything.
Okay. So for me, you can contact me. You can go to my website, www.creativepeacellc.com. I have a Facebook company page, Creative Peace Counseling Services, LLC. And the phone number to Creative Peace Counseling Services is 281-903-4020.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to worry about getting ready. Hey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, what you got, Ms. Johnson? Yeah. We trying to get all of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I thought we were just talking about the leveling up. So if you're trying to get me for Insightful Consultants, you can email me at insightfulconsultants@gmail.com. And that's actually all I have right now. I don't have a lot of handle names, but I'm getting there. But if you want to reach me, you can reach me there. You can also go to Facebook to our Dear Teacher group, and you can reach me there also.
Man.
Yeah, so you can reach me at eatwellexchange.org or on all social media platforms at eatwellexchange. And then if you're just interested in working personally with me, whether it's for you individually, for an assessment, we can just figure out and talk it through. What are your nutrition goals? And see if I'm a perfect fit to help you. You can go to JasmineWestbrooks.com. And I'll be having my website soon too.
Hey, there we go. Look, I want to say thank you all again for taking some time out to talk about such an important topic. And thank you all for addressing it, in the way that you are thinking of the whole young lady, covering the mind, body, and the soul, because you got to have some.
Right.
Yeah. So I look forward to sharing this, and I'll also get the flyer so that we can kind of start running. I can share it with my educational community, which is the same community Ms. Johnson has, but it's okay. That means we'll double hit them. All right, so I think that would do it, y'all. So I want to say thank you again.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right, this is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.